What's up, guys? I'm Luke.
I'm Ainsley.
And we are
Scream Queenie.
Alright, so Ainsley, it's been a while.
It has.
As far as they know, we've had a couple of weeks where there's not been a show up as far as any of our viewers or friends out there know. We haven't had, but this is going to be a little bit of the BTS, as they call it, behind the scenes information here. Is that we record these in advance quite a bit for a lot of things. And so before the holidays, so like before Thanksgiving, really, we went on and we recorded a bunch of episodes that I have ready so we can make it through the holidays and kind of just chill during those times.
Yep.
Also, a little bit more behind the scenes things. So this is the first time tonight that you and I have seen each other in quite a while too. No kayfabe. I don't know if you know what that means, but no kayfabe. It's so in wrestling, kayfabe is like where where the storylines or whatever's going on, that you try to act like that's real all the time, right? So like whatever's going on, like so for a long time, like a big part of the business was keeping kayfabe. So like making sure that you, like if you were hurt for some reason, like inside of the ring, then, you didn't go out into public if you're supposed to have been blinded, or something like that in the ring. I mean, it's not followed as much anymore by everyone, but that was a big thing for a long time. You wouldn't see the person out at the store or doing interviews or stuff like that if they were supposed to have been hurt. Anyways, but no kayfabe. So you and I are actually friends in real life. It's not just like a thing that we put on for the show. It's not.
Sure.
It's not something like your agent got with my agent and decided that we needed to do this together. So we wanted to do something. This hasn't quite worked out the way that I've
envisioned it.
Well, it really hasn't, and that's not just because of stuff that's happened with us, but I was wanting to involve some other people. And I know some of the people that I was going to have involved with that have had family issues, things that happen. I know people that have had family members pass away from COVID. There's been some stuff, and so they weren't able to contribute the way that they were wanting to. So hopefully next year we'll be able to do it a little bit better. There was going to be a whole thing where Taquito was going to have a little special like outfit and everything, and that just didn't work out for us. We did want to say, as always, shout out to James, because he kept our stuff rolling and uploading, and for as many episodes as we had in the can, kept editing that stuff and making me look way better and way funnier than I really am. So thank you, James. But we are going to do a little something that we're going to call the Screamies. It's not actually an award, but people should be honored if they're mentioned on here, if you ask me, because we're both pretty big horror fans. And so this is probably going to be over like a couple of episodes that we're going to do this. So the first thing that we wanted to start off with is, it's more, I guess you would say it's like our favorite lists of things. And so for our horror content. So the first thing that we wanted to talk about is for 2021, our favorite horror series that we watched. Now, this does not mean necessarily that that in these categories that these are things that actually came out in 2021, but they were things that we got to see, or if it's a comic, got to read, or a movie we got to watch, or something like that. So why don't you go ahead and start us off with your top 3 favorite horror series. That could be a limited series or ongoing TV series,
just a series of some sort. Anthologies.
Yes, anything like that. Okay, so number 3 for you, and then I'll do my number 3, then you'll do number 2. Okay.
Number 3 for me was the American Horror Stories series, which wasn't perfect. Had some episodes that didn't really fit in there, but overall, I liked it.
So, like, so you're a big fan of the series anyways. I mean, you've watched every series, every season.
But I like that they went back to the murder house.
Yeah.
They started out there, then
in the very first
looped around and followed up there.
Yeah. But in that series, there's a lot of callbacks, though, right? I mean, there's a lot of, from season to season, there can be a lot of callbacks and it may not be in the same, like Twisty the Clown they had, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not the first time that they've done callbacks.
Not all the episodes were in the same, like, universe, I guess you would say.
For this season that you're talking about here, for American Horror Stories.
Stories, correct.
But I guess what I'm saying is, in general, the show, I've noticed, at least in the seasons that I've watched, there are callbacks to other seasons.
Yeah. And the reason why I don't have this season of American Horror Story on my list is because it sucked. Both Red Tide and whatever the second one was called, I don't remember.
Wasn't it just like movies or something? Isn't that what it was? Like extended?
Not really. It was, they split it up into two because they didn't have a season for 2020.
Yeah.
So I think they did like 6 and 5 episodes of each. Red Tide was first.
And so you didn't like either one of them?
No.
Okay. But American Horror...
Red Tide had promise, but it was disappointing by the end.
Okay. All right, so my number 3 in favorite horror series is going to be Squid Game. I know maybe you watched a little bit of it.
I saw part of the first episode.
I will say, and I know you said that it was hard for you to get into as you were watching it. I will say to anyone who is saying that, keep watching. That first, I would say, half of the episode there up until... what really hooked me was the end of the first episode, and then after that, it just was insane. The way that they represent things in this, the way that they are able to. So if the interview with the creator of Squid Game. He says that basically it was his interpretation of capitalism in the way that the Squid Games were portrayed. Without giving away too much, because you haven't watched it, but then there are other people. I want people to be able to experience this the way that I did.
From what I saw, that I can kind of see that.
So basically what it is it's a bunch of people that are down on their luck, and they get them to sign up for these games. They're like childhood games that they would play when they were children, and it's a ton of people, and so they tell them that they would be able to get out of debt by winning these games, and they turn out to be something totally different than what they thought they were whenever they went into it.
So number 2 we have in common is Fear Street.
Yeah, I really like Fear Street. I think that...
and we did a review on it.
Yeah, all 3 of them, yeah. We had somebody that actually asked us to do that, to review all 3 of those, so we did. And Fear Street was great. We could sit here and talk about it some more, but just go back and watch our old reviews of it. I will say... I like the first and the third one, I think, a lot better than I like the second one. The second one, I thought, really tried real hard to not be Friday the 13th, but really turned out to kind of be like Friday the 13th. A little bit different. I did like...
It gave a little bit of backstory that I appreciated.
I liked the way that it tied into the other ones, yes. I did like that. But as far as overall, really liked the first one. Really liked the third one. I thought overall, though, that the series could have done a better job in the first 2 films of making you care about the people that were supposed to be the main characters. I think I talked about that in our reviews. By the third one, you do, though. Like, I feel like you do care, and it's a lot better. But in the first one, there were minor characters that died that I really, really, really was really sad that they didn't get to come back. All right, so number 1 for you, my friend.
Midnight Mass.
See, I've not seen this yet.
You should.
Yes, I have heard from many people that...
Go into it knowing as little as possible about it.
So I've heard a couple of things about it. Like I said, I know who the priest is, who he's played by. I also know that it has something to do with vampires, and that's the only thing that I've heard about it. So
I recommend going into it knowing as little as possible.
So I guess you're not going to talk about it.
No.
But you just really enjoyed it.
I did.
So what did you like about it then, without spoiling or giving away stuff?
I thought the story was interesting. It keeps your attention. The acting was good. It has some things that surprise you.
Huh?
So, yeah.
Twists and turns and etc., etc., etc.
Yep, some things you don't expect to happen.
Alright, so my number one is going to be something that I probably wouldn't have until I would say probably until September, October. I probably would not have put this on the list. Fear the Walking Dead. I like the show The Walking Dead. You and I have watched a lot of The Walking Dead together. You're behind on the original series. Which, by the way, we're going to try to get her caught up and get everything so that way whenever the series finale comes out later this year, we're going to try to do a review of that, maybe, and like try to get together or do like an instant review that night if we can do it or something like that. But all that aside, I like the franchises itself. I'm a big fan of the comics. I always thought that Fear was kind of a lesser than series than the other one. They kind of completely changed everything around a few years back, kind of dropped off on the series, but was wanting to get caught back up because they had started to bring some people over from the original series into this one.
They did? I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, see, I don't want to spoil anything for you. And then they have brought some minor characters, maybe some people at the point that you're in on the series that you haven't even been introduced to yet that get brought over. And this show went from something that was kind of wanting to be a little bit different than the original show to, for a while, a Western almost. Like it was like a Western, which was really cool and interesting. And then it turned into an apocalyptic show, but in a way different way than the other show is because of the area that they're in and other things going on. There were tie-ins to some things that are going on in the other show, and then there's a third show now that only lasted 2 seasons, but it was only supposed to be 2 seasons, called Walking Dead World Beyond, and there were some tie-ins with that too, which also tied into the main series. But yeah, Fear the Walking Dead, if you kind of dropped off on that like I did, I would say get back on it. It's been really good. All right, so I think what we're going to do, because this is taking a lot longer than I think we thought it was going to, we're going to have to break each one of these up into...
chatty.
Yes, we're going to have to break each one of these up into a...
episode?
Yeah, we're going to have to break each one of these up into an episode. So we're going to go ahead and end this one here if there's some more content. We're going to go ahead and end this one here. As always, we would love for you to like, to share, to comment. If you think there are some better horror series out there than what we said, there's not. But if you think there are, please let us know, and we will take them into consideration. Maybe we'll watch them if we haven't had a chance to watch them.
We like recommendations.
Yes, we definitely do. I have been Luke.
I have been Ainsley.
And we are
Scream Queenie.
And we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.